guess this is it, huh? Well, it's been great. We'll see each other again soon. Your friend, Tommy.
Welcome, everybody, to the Morph-A-Mania podcast, and we are here to do the Green Series with good old Jason David Frank. I am Humanoid, along with...
The Dwarf.
And...
It's me, Mighty Morphin Nicole Parker.
Jesus Christ, Nicole Parker from Mad TV.
No. Well, yes, but I say Nicole Parker because she was the princess in Disaster movie.
Oh, right. I love her. She was great on that.
Don't get me fucking started again, Adam. Otherwise, I'll slam your head in a goddamn fucking wall.
By the way, speaking of that movie, it was supposed to be like that because it's a parody. Didn't try. But anyway,
Not
Green
again,
Evil.
not again, not again, please.
Green Series, the story arc that introduced Frank, and well, Life is calming down. Episodes
I'll
1 to
end
5.
you.
It's episode 1 to 5. Which introduces our main man, Jason Frank.
And no one will miss you.
You want to
Good
play
old
a game.
Tommy Oliver.
Good old Tommy
Jason
Oliver.
David Frank, man. I will openly say, I'll quick disclaimer for the audience. We're not experts when it comes to television, behind the scenes stuff. We're just three fans, old, novice, and virgin.
Thank you for how old I am.
Who just love enjoying the show and joking around, and we'll discover behind the scenes stuff as we go along because we do enjoy that kind of thing. But again, we're not experts. That being said, though, when it comes to this specific episode, I will probably have a lot more to say about the man himself than the behind the scenes facts.
Which is understandable. He's a lot of man.
Yes.
Like,
despite his beef with Austin St. John, he's a great fan.
Are we really going to jump into that right away?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying, despite his Austin St. John.
I don't know the details myself. I know it exists, but that's all I know about it.
Like I said,
we're gonna have to get into it at some point
eventually.
For historical purposes.
Yeah, because we're just some random fans talking about the history. Especially with the Virgin here.
I'd rather us not keep calling me the Virgin. I did it as a joke.
No worries, the dead troop over here. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into this with the first episode, Green with Evil, Part 1.
Part 1, which is subtitled
Out of Control.
Out of Control, thank you. And let's see here in the production info. Let's see. Written by a lot of people, actually. I don't know if it lists specifically who wrote which part, but this is for all 5 parts. It was written by Gary Blasberg, Stuart St. John, Tom Weiner, our favorite guy again.
Tom Weiner! Yes!
Cheryl Saban.
James Saban's wife.
Haim's wife, yes.
I believe she wrote all 5 parts, if I am correct.
I remember seeing her for sure in the written by in part 2.
Yeah, And then also Mark Ryan and Cindy McKay, and directed solely by Robert Hughes.
They put a lot of faith in him into making a pretty good 5-parter.
Right.
It's basically like if Power Rangers made a movie before they made a movie.
Yes.
It really
did that too.
It really stuck out for a couple different reasons. One, it was introducing a new Ranger to the team, which of course was like the grand spectacle of the whole 5-parter, introducing a new member to the team. But how this is a genuine question to people out there. I want to see this in the comments as well, and I want to see this with you guys as well. I want to hear your opinion on this. How many kids' TV shows have 5-parters?
Back then?
Back then, and even now.
I can't think of a single other episodic children's TV show that has more than a 3-parter, honestly.
I think Power
Like
Rangers was the first one to do it, and X-Men did on the original X-Men, not X-Men '97. Well, technically, is you know what I mean.
I think X-Men '97. Like, yeah, I do know what you mean. Like the original X-Men '97 seasons. I do want to say it was like very serialized, just like the Spider-Man show of that time. So it did definitely have. I want to say the Spider-Man show had the 6 Forgotten Warriors 5-parter or 6-parter. Yeah, but it was all made up of superheroes. Another Fox show, actually, part of that lineup of Saban shows. But it wasn't like the Avengers type heroes. It was basically the Invaders, which are like the World War II Avengers, with the greatest speedster of them all, the Wizard.
Oh God, the Wizard. No, that was the Spot. No, the Wizard, and they got Storm.
Yeah, it was the Wizard. It was like Miss America. A couple other old school heroes. I cannot remember who they are.
How fast do you think Wizard could piss?
Very fast.
Very fast, and they actually brought him into the Jessica Jones second season of the Netflix show, and
Wizard, I believe you, okay?
And they treated him like both dirty but like funny at the same time, and because they basically made him out to be an overweight introvert who owned a mongoose, which was really cool, actually.
You're talking about the old Spider-Man show. I was talking about the one in 95, 90, teamed up with the X-Men one time, or one where he had his own team.
That's the show I'm talking about as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just this version of the Wizard I'm talking about is from the Jessica Jones TV show. The one from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon is definitely way more, if not dead on accurate to the comics.
Is that the same 90s Spider-Man TV show with like the really weird Venom dream?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the really weird Venom dream, and I knew you were about to say the Shocker line, probably. So, a huge just put the clip in.
Get back here, Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth!
And I will actually plug something that needs to get more attention that I think only has like 1 or 2 issues of. Godzilla Mendoza's the comic book YouTuber who is not a Spider-Man guy. Everyone says he is. He just likes Spider-Man a lot, but he's not a Spider-Man guy. I say that for you. I say that for you, Xavier. But he did a fan-made comic book on the 90s Spider-Man show. A continuation, basically, where Madam Web and Spider-Man go looking for Mary Jane, basically, going through different universes. Let's get to part 1, finally. Out of Control. It opens up with the gang basically in a karate tournament.
There's a martial arts exhibition going on, and we actually open on Steve Blackman.
What?
It's just a teenager using the same sticks that Steve Blackman used, and all I could hear was.
Oh, I thought you were calling Jason Steve Blackman. I was going to be like wearing his Bloodsport gear.
No. Jason is Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, no, I'm not going to unsee that. Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome. Austin St. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And so in this exhibition, we see Jason getting ready. and then we get the first shot of
There.
the character.
Insert the clip from Cool Cat.
There he is!
The most important character in Power Rangers history. Like, he did, like, to the point where he took over the show to the audience's annoyance for some seasons, but honestly, whenever he popped up, it was always important. It was always an event, and like, a lot of, like, I believe Linkara famously said that, like, the main characters of Power Rangers are Bulk and Skull, like, and I do, like, put some merit into that, but I think in reality, the main character of Power Rangers is Jason David Frank's portrayal as Tommy Oliver.
Like,
He always was in the beginning, but
when he became a
remember,
Ranger.
like, he was the, like, he did become the leader later on, and he did become a Red, which is, like, the number one sign of main character leadership sort of crowning, because pretty much after the Zordon era wraps up, every single Red is pretty much, like, hit with, like, the main character mallet, and it's well, except for RPM. And generally, when Tommy shows up, that's the case. Like, in
Also in Flame Force too.
Dino Thunder.
In Dino Thunder, which, now that we're talking about this season and this series, I will bring this up. Dino Thunder was my first season. It's how I was exposed to Power Rangers. I think it may have been a episode of SPD where, like, they fight a magician, but I firmly believe Dino Thunder is what caused my fandom, and I firmly believe Dino Thunder is basically a soft reboot or soft remake of Mighty Morphin, but specifically though with Dino Thunder, because there are many theories that even the Power Rangers movie referenced that Zordon was a Ranger himself.
Yeah, but that was a different timeline.
But no, I mean, even in the main canon, that he was a Ranger that we just never see.
Oh, right.
I personally would like to see that, and my personal headcanon is that he was the Red in Go Ranger.
Okay. Well, I will take things over real quick. Oh wait, actually, we're still talking about Jason David Frank. So why don't you give your thoughts? Because I probably have the least to talk about JDF with.
Met the guy at a Comic-Con one time, and it was so cool. I was nervous as hell getting a picture. He could tell, and he was like, "Oh man," like he was taking his time with me. And he passed away, and I was so gutted.
Everyone was heartbroken. Obviously, as the newbie to Power Rangers, Jason David Frank has had much less of an impact on me as a fan of superheroes and people in spandex and fighting robots. But as a whole, I see him as a very kind soul, a very loving individual. And the one time I did get to meet him in person, which was at that same Comic-Con, he was a very upstanding guy. I told him I wasn't really a fan of Power Rangers and I didn't really watch any of it, but he still took the time to talk to me, sign something, and even took a quick selfie, which was honestly huge and something I really needed that day. So if somehow you're listening, Jason, you made a fan that day. The man's an absolute classic person. Anyway, we're gonna get back to the episode, and Doif has stepped away, so I will. Nope, he's back.
So actually, yeah, I do want to say this. So immediately upon first viewing, we get so many iconic things out of Jason David Frank, out of Tommy Oliver, that just sticks with his character and him at the exact same time, even just upon first viewing. His the spin kicks that he's known for, but that god bloody amazing that he'll always
Hayas.
let out.
Iconic Hayas. Haya.
His Lex Lugerisms.
Lex
Well,
God
wait.
damn it. Shout out to OSW. Lex Luger.
Stop ruining Jason David Frank for me, Adam.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
every time I'm going to hear a Haya, I'm going to picture Lex Luger going, oh!
throw some Lex Luger in there. Why not?
Yeah.
And a new challenger. Come on, yeah, and he wants. Come on, yeah, and he wants.
We get, I want to say, like, as we get a shot of Jason David Frank, of course, we get the first little tinge of a romance between Kimberly and Jace and Tommy.
Kimberly gets wet for him.
I'm going to put you in the skull corner.
Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and I'm.
The skull corner is what I'm officially calling the Power Ranger shame corner.
Like I said, she definitely wants to get her skull cornered by Tommy.
I call it the skull corner because that's the corner that Skull goes to every time he gets cucked by Kimberly.
And that's also where he goes to plan his many murders.
Yes.
No. He comes out of the corners thirsting for murder. And we get, I want to say this is when we get a shot of Rita saying Tommy will be perfect to be my Green Ranger.
My Green Ranger.
And then, like, I'm just going to quickly get past that shot of Rita because I want to talk about this fight.
I think we both want to talk about this fight.
This is such a great fight, and in my opinion, it lays, I think, the backbone for Jason and Tommy's relationship for the rest of the show. How they're always somewhat competing, but at this point in the show, it's like they're an equal level. So, like, the Sixth Ranger and Jason, the leader, where Red is generally the most powerful of the team, are at an even standstill.
I like to equate this fight between Tommy and Jason as the same as like a fight between Goku and Vegeta. It's got that vibe, like two people who are on basically the same team. Sure, there isn't as much evil ambiguity from one side, but they're just so equal that it just works and it just flows relentlessly, and you're just so invested on seeing who will best the other. I was genuinely so enthralled with this entire like 3-minute sequence that I didn't even write any notes for it. I was just watching.
Just completely in awe. With your comparison, though, I will say that the Dragon Ball comparison is like really spot on, but I'd say it's closer in my opinion because because one isn't just like completely set evil. I'd say it's closer to at least in my eyes to Goku and Piccolo Jr.
Oh, that's actually a much better comparison. It's just a lot less obviously violent. It's just it is really they're just on an equal level, and their rivalry in air quotes is just a huge backbone to their relationship.
And of course, Tommy kidnaps that baby in later seasons.
That's not real. You're kidding. Although when I did go back, I did have one note to say about this fight scene, and it's every time the judge says Hajime, which obviously is their cue to begin again. Every time the fucking the judge says Hajime, it just sounds like Voldemort saying Avada Kedavra.
Also, this is the many martial arts tournaments. Ernie, why are you so invested in these martial arts stuff?
Well, gee, I don't know. Maybe it's not like Jason runs a karate class there.
I don't know if they ever like in the Boom Comics run. I think it's Boom Comics. If they ever added backstory for Ernie, but I always thought because he cares so much for the kids that like maybe he was like extremely bullied when he was a kid, so he opened up the juice bar for like youths and whatnot that were like not treated the best and whatnot, for like all those to be accepting. And like I think he knows Bulk and Skull are like bullied. They are the bullies that also get bullied. So I think he gives them so much slack because he knows they're losers. But it's like, so I see him just like constantly signing up for activities that he knows that the kids he always interacts with, mainly the main five, are really into. So you'll see like science fairs, school projects, karate tournaments, which since Jason and him, you obviously see them being good friends. I could see him be like, "Oh, hey, a karate tournament. Jason would probably love if we had it at the juice bar."
This is a really good headcanon for Ernie.
It just like he is one of those characters that isn't a ranger that just you can't help but in it's like he he never became a ranger. I don't think he even was involved in the big final battle in space, but
he wasn't.
But I just think he deserves more than just like a juice bar named Ernie's in Super Mega Force.
I think he does deserve a bit more than that. I think Ernie is really the lifeblood of some of these early episodes.
Then we get after the wrap up of the karate tournament, where we get a draw between Jason and Tommy, which again I love.
Very
I want to say. I want to say we get the beginning of Rita and her evil spell.
After Kim gets a bit wet for Tommy, and then also after the karate tournament, we get a scene in the locker hallway at Angel Grove High, where Bulk and Skull try to mac on Kimberly, and Skull tries to get some, and Tommy cucks him again.
Punks him.
What I love about this is the gang has dealt with Bulk and Skull before and have gotten in fights with them before, but it's always been like they've tried to attack him, and it's like or attack them, and they've always just like defended themselves. But like then we just get I almost say Jason David Frank again. We get Tommy just being Tommy and just like punching the air and kicking, and they're just like, yeah, no thank you.
So they run away.
I think I have to go do my taxes.
Yeah, they run away and Skull goes to the Skull Corner. Yeah, and then Kimberly introduces herself. Her and Tommy make plans to meet up with everyone else at the juice bar later, and then we get the Rita scene.
But also, I'd like to mention, goddamn, rewatching this, Tommy and Kim are they so deserve adorable. Each other. They're so goddamn adorable.
A lot of people, I do want to comment on this. A lot of people really wanted them to end up together since we did get to this point. Again, my personal headcanon is Kimberly and Skull, but I do gotta say these two have such a cute romantic chemistry, just great chemistry all around. And
yeah, although I do like Kat.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about. I've seen some of her stuff, and I do like Kat, but
she's
it's
not that
like
bad, but she's not Kim, is what.
I think it's just biased because I saw Kimberly first.
It's always biased because it is Kimberly, but I'm saying
I don't know who Kat is, so
Kat's the second Mighty Morphin Ranger. And one little trivia note I do want to add about this is that this is when we find out his name, Tommy Oliver. Like this is when he introduces himself, because we don't hear his name. I say we don't hear his name during the karate tournament.
Oh yeah, he says, "Hi, I'm Tommy."
They do introduce him by Tommy, not Tommy Oliver. So it was just his first name. This is when we get his full name.
and we see he's just a shy kid, it seems like, but like a nice kid. Like he definitely seems like is bland enough to fit in with the main ones perfectly.
Well, he is
Yes,
supposed to be
he's
15
just
during
that level of milk toast.
And then we see him walking home from school or going down the
The Rita
shortcut
scene.
down an alleyway.
The Rita scene.
Oh yeah,
And then we get the Rita scene with her with this really cool ass skull sculpture with glowing eyes, and then we get the test to see if Tommy is worthy enough, and he fights off a gang of putties.
We
Easy for
cut to the test with a now 90s PowerPoint cut
Yes.
with like a star wipe, and it looks fucking stupid.
Saved by the Bell did that a lot too.
You half expect the saxophone when it comes to commercials to keep.
Sorry, there's one other thing to mention. So as we cut with the 90s PowerPoint cut, we also see two of Tommy's random friends that never show up again. They just walk away.
Another one of Skull's victims.
they're Skull's victims for the 5-parter.
Yeah.
He wants vengeance on Tommy because he's too scared of him. So he's going after his friends and loved ones.
That's why we never hear about his parents.
So then we get Tommy, of course, as you lovingly said, humanoid, child's play, and just absolutely bodying every single one of the putties. And
there's one part of this fight that I want to talk about. So I believe it's the second or the third putty. He grabs them, does like a little arm wringer, and then throws him into a bunch of cardboard boxes. Now, who would just leave cardboard boxes lying around like that?
Oh, don't you talk about my boxes! I like boxes!
Yeah, man. I'm just saying that's the start of the whole empty box thing that they started doing.
Logistically, if you have boxes you need to throw away, you'd break them down first. But yet they make such good props for a fucking martial arts fight.
So then Rita picks up Tommy after being amazed with his skill.
Beams him up, Scotty.
Beams him up, and then we get the beginning of the transformation of Tommy, Green Ranger.
And we get Rita at her crystal bar going, Ade Due Dembala.
We had cut to footage of Barai from Danger.
Yeah, it's literally just Barai. It's literally just the 6th Ranger from Sentai. And then Tommy has been brainwashed.
Yeah, he's
and then he gets up, and I want to say as he holds the Green Ranger coin, this is when he turns into the Green Ranger
with a puff of green smoke.
Now let's talk about the shield.
I'll give you a 30-second reprieve while I talk about this shitty, cheap set that this morph happens on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This morph, first of all, it's another Vegas effect with just a puff of green smoke, and then the scene dressing is some black curtains that are meant to look like a rock wall, 2 candelabras that are clearly like not even actual candelabras. They're just light up candelabras that you'd find at like a Halloween store with like light bulbs, and then a smoke machine. So Haim Saban, his infamous cheapness, this entire scene cost him probably about $40 to $50.
Oh.
Now it's time to talk about the shield.
Yes.
So famously, they couldn't afford a rubber shield for the Green Ranger suit for the American shots, so they had to use one made out of like felt or a fabric material, and it looks awful.
It's terrible.
I believe it's like so infamous to the point where I think there's like a deluxe Green Ranger figure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where it comes with a rubber shield, but it also comes with a fabric shield as well. it just I love that so much. If that's a real detail, I gotta look that up when I get the chance. But this stupid shield makes me laugh every single time because it just like beforehand there were some cases where you couldn't make out the Sentai footage sometimes compared to the American shots.
Now it's just incredibly obvious.
Oh yeah,
It
looking
is
back on
the
it, it's
ultimate tell
so
now.
obvious. Back then, I didn't think nothing of it. I go like, cool, a shield. But now that you look much older now, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you know the shield is an L. But let me tell you what a big fat W the Ranger suit itself is. I love it. It's got the beautiful green and white. It's a contrast to all of the other suits, whereas it just feels different, and also the helmet just feels different because it's a dragon instead of a dinosaur.
What
Oh
is
yeah.
dragons are dinosaurs?
Oh
These dragons are medieval dinosaurs.
Yeah, just take a look at Godzilla. Totally a dinosaur.
He's also an Oscar winner. But yes, the Green Ranger suit is a fat W, and I love it.
So then we get his most iconic laugh ever, the one that started all. Oh my God!
This laugh, I hate it.
Wait, okay, it's the first time though, but you'll get used to it. Actually, it's already done, so yeah.
Yeah, the evil stuff is over, so I can confidently say, Jason David Frank, you are a man of many talents. Evil laughter is not one of them.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be taken that serious.
It doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna flip out again because just because it wasn't meant to be taken seriously, Andreas, it does not mean it's good.
Right, right.
We've been over
You're gonna get me wound up again. That's something you don't want. So then Tommy then beams into the command center since he has a power coin now, and he puts in a disk to corrupt Alpha 5 with the virus.
The virus.
And then he starts playing Crazy Taxi with the controls in the command center to to get rid of Zordon.
Yeah, when I was 10, I was struck. I go like, "Can you do that? Just did that. What?"
The one thing I caught from this scene that I loved is while we'll see if we can pull it up, but while Tommy is banging at the controls and Zordon is losing himself and losing his connection with this world, is Tommy, no.
Tommy,
no.
Man,
Stop, Phil. Come back.
Man, I hate you for pointing that out now. No.
The best part is Zordon does it again a few parts later, and it's the exact same no. It's so Tommy, no.
Tommy, no.
It just makes me think of that Vader clip.
Make my Goldar grow, and this is where I point out Goldar's huge swinging cod piece. It's just because they always shoot the growing scenes from like an angle up at the monster while it grows. So it's just staring you right in the face as he grows.
Yeah,
it's just there swinging at you.
Yeah.
Just like smack dab right in like the fish-eyed lens of the camera.
It's so fucked. And Zach's there too.
Oh, yeah,
and he talks about how the best way to clean a rad bug is with the Zax wax.
No.
That's whack.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
And I was in that
I
era.
didn't. You say that like yeah. It's something he said, Malcolm.
I know, but then you have to go and repeat it, and I just.
So the girls come in. Kim is kind of down because at the skull fucking that.
From Tommy or from Skull?
Yes, you guys are a bunch of degenerates.
Says the guy who just said that Kimberly fucked Skull and Tommy in the same day.
I didn't say that.
You did.
And my favorite part about the rad bug scene is just they're like, all right, we're coming down, hang on, and then we get the whoa in the extreme 90s close up.
And we get the amazing editing.
Extreme close up! Whoa! Whoa!
I don't know exactly like how it zooms in like that, and it really makes me think what like the background of the command center is supposed to be. Like, is it supposed to be lights, or is it supposed to be like stars or something in the background? Because it's like, how did the rad bug like it, anyway? So then they see that Zordon is not there in his fishbowl, so he must have
He's
escaped
Zordon.
them. Unfortunately, Alpha, they discover that he tried to download Brazilian fart porn again. So
He tried to download porn.exe.
so he's shut down, and then they discover that like the records are scrambled or whatever, and they can't figure out what happened. And then they see that Goldar on the viewing globe is attacking downtown, or the abandoned buildings district.
Oh no, they called it the warehouse, the business district.
Yeah, I think it was the warehouse district.
It wasn't
Yeah, the
abandoned
empty
yet.
warehouse
It's
district.
not abandoned yet.
And
It's not
so
abandoned. That means Goldar's killing dozens of people right now.
Yeah, that means he actually killing people. It's not abandoned yet.
and then we get the morphin sequence,
Oh,
and then we
before-
get, I want to say, a quick fight with the putties.
Sorry, I gotta cut you off for a second. When they get the morphin sequence, finally get Austin St. John's iconic emotion by saying it's morphing time.
Finally put emotion in.
No, the other episodes he didn't put much emphasis. Now you finally put some emphasis.
Like I'm pretty sure that like he, like, even if it was just like a little in the early days, but
This is the most emotion he's put in thus far.
Yeah,
I do want to say this is like the first time where like we get like the emotion with like him facing the camera.
Yep, this is where it starts. Like showing that emotion, that iconic. It's morphing
Finally.
time.
So then we get the quick fight with the putties, and then we get the Megazord sequence, and then we get just the first taste of how amazing the Green Ranger is by him just completely scaling the Megazord, jumping on top of
jump, none less.
Just with one jump, and just being like, hi, I'm gonna be replacing you guys. Corporate hired me, and so he just yeets the rest of the Rangers out of the Megazord.
He opens the door. He opens the door to the cockpit and is like, "Hello, I'm here to talk to you about your Megazord's extended warranty."
Yeah, I'm here to fuck you up, and you can't do anything about it.
And then he eats them all out.
And so this is when we get the first fight with the Green Ranger and
the other Rangers.
The other Rangers. Yeah. And if I do want to say this is this fight, but we get the Green Ranger green energy ball that he only fires once in the series and never fires again.
The one time Green Ranger Hadouken.
Well, he doesn't. He didn't have a Rita's powers anymore, so he can't summon that stuff, like his eye beams in the other episode.
I don't think he had eye beams in.
No, his eyes just flashed. I bring it up in part 2.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, no, yeah, that part, right? I thought he had like eye beams that shot out of his helmet, because I know in the movie, like one of the Rangers had like flashlight eyes, and I was never able to unsee that as a child.
Rocky.
Are you sure it was no? Rocky had X-ray vision. I'm pretty sure it was like.
Oh no, that was Aisha. Never mind.
Yeah, Aisha. But then they go back to the command center after getting their asses completely handed to them.
And Alpha's throwing it back.
Booty, 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 booty. I spy with my little eye. Booty!
And it seems like Alpha is starting to come together a bit, and then of course shuts down again.
Because he got that 1993 porn.
That's where Alpha throws ass for the Rangers.
That's what you get for being for being run on Windows Vista.
No, yeah, Vista is the more. No, actually, it's the more broken version of Vista. It's Windows Longhorn.
Right.
And so then we at the command center we get just a quick like debriefing of what the hell is going on, guys. But I do firmly believe that this is only a taste of what's yet to come.
And
You jump into it immediately. Part 2, Jason's battle.
Jason's Battle Part 2, which was written by the man, the myth, the legend himself, M. Bison, Tom Weiner.
Jason Frank in the credits.
Yeah, this is the first time he's in the credits, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
We slowly get the development of that because I believe just in this credit we just see like him like doing his spin kicks, but no like image of him in the ranger suit.
Yeah, not yet.
what in the
I
credits?
think that shows up in like part 4 or 5.
Yeah. I think once like Dragon Zord pops up as well. But we get Jason being absolutely pissed in the first couple minutes of this episode for at the Green Ranger.
Yeah, so we open at the command center, and the Rangers are still dealing with the aftermath of everything that happened in part 1. Jason is pacing around and is obviously pissed off about this Green Ranger dude. Yeah, I love how he says it, so I had to put that there. We also have Billy and Trini helping Billy with this crazy space welding machine while he tries to work on getting Alpha 5 back together. Alpha 5 does come back to life, and Alpha 5 is alive.
Alpha 5
Sorry.
is alive.
It's scary how good that was, though. But and then anyway,
Alpha 5 gets up, and the first thing he says is, "Dude, dudette."
Cringy Alpha's back.
It's pretty good. So yeah, they're all mulling over the whole situation with whoever this green guy is, and I'm gonna give him a pass at this point because they have no clue who it is. Then we cut to Rita's palace, and Rita is very excited about Tommy's progress and wants to give him one of the greatest gifts, the Sword of Darkness, which will make her control over him permanent, as long as the sword is still intact.
Everybody got that?
She has Finster get to work on the Sword of Darkness. We cut back to Tommy, and this is the first shot of his iconic green eyes. So Rita basically tells him, "You're gonna stay on Earth. Make sure no one knows you're the Green Ranger, you fucking dingus, and wait for me to call you again." So, conveniently, as soon as Rita's influence goes away and all the wind stops blowing, who turns the corner? Da 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 da. Nah, nah, nah. It's Vulcan Skull.
Boom, 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 boom.
They just don't learn. Just don't learn.
Yeah, Vulcan Skull show up, and they want to get revenge on Tommy for showing them up in front of Kimberly. So they walk up, and they're just like, "Hey, Dweebo, we're gonna teach you that lesson now." Yeah, just staring at them. They think he's giving them the strong and silent treatment, and then Tommy just shows them up with a couple of quick moves, and he throws them both perfectly into a dumpster.
Hey,
No, he doesn't even throw him. He just looks at him into a dumpster.
Hey, he just throws lightning eyes up.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, he just fires green lightning, and then they just jump into the dumpster themselves. And we paused it at the perfect time where their legs were just sticking straight up again.
Do remember seeing in a panel that Jason and Paulie said that I believe it was during this episode where they do a lot of their same stunts or their own stunts during the filming of the show because it was hard for them to find a stunt guy for Bulk. So the main rule they would go for was make sure Jason landed on top.
Yeah.
Usually. And I believe this episode is one of those cases where, unfortunately, Jason did not land on top of Polly. Polly landed on Jason.
Oh.
And we get this situation reminds me of the bit where Cactus Jack fell on top of Chainsaw Charlie in that other dumpster match. Yeah, and that was scary. But this is Skull, but Bulk falling on top of Skull in the in the dumpster behind the scenes. That's all of Skull's comeuppance he ever gets for his mass murdering.
Very true. Very.
Which is pretty funny. Then we cut to Angel Grove High, and Kimberly sees Tommy. His eyes flash again before Kimberly comes up to Tommy. Kimberly comes up to Tommy, and this is where I put in the note. Tommy, you need Visine. Man, you got some weird eye shit going on. You need some fucking you need some fucking eye drops.
Tommy just like negs her. He treats her like trash.
Well, excuse me for living.
But this whole scene has a lot I want to talk about, and most of it has to do with Tommy's outfit.
Oh yeah.
It's just green fishnet shirt with a green undershirt and green baggy camo pants. So I now officially dub thee Tom Hardy.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. It just worked.
Anyway.
It works in a better way too, because in part 3 he becomes Spider-Man at a point. I'll talk about that later.
All right.
So now, then we get the Rita family field trip, where Rita takes all of her cronies down and down to Tommy's test down to the beach. Yes, and Tommy's there as well. And this is Tommy's test to see if he can acquire the Sword of Darkness. So we get a huge, big putty fight. Tommy versus, I think it's like 12 putties. And he fucking decimates them. There's a couple of cool, fun spots in this fight that I'd like to talk about. The first thing is, I believe it's the second or third putty he takes care of, kicks them back, and then another putty jumps off of the guy's shoulders and does a fucking Kamen Rider kick.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It looked awesome.
It looked amazing, and it didn't phase Tommy at all. There's a lot more fighting, a lot more hullabaloo, and Rita basically says, finish them, and Tommy breaks out his finisher, which he jumps at the last putty, and he hits him with a Jason David Frankensteiner.
Yeah, that's a good move. The Jason Frankensteiner. God damn it.
You know what? If he ever were to get into if he was still alive and if he were to ever get into wrestling, that should have been his finisher.
He did go to MMA.
He was in MMA.
I'm talking about wrestling. Okay. I'm not talking about MMA.
Well, there was that whole bit of him fighting CM Punk in a wrestling match. Never happened.
No, not wrestling. He wanted to beat the shit out of him in person. Like he wanted a shoot fight.
Oh yeah, Jason David Frank did go into MMA.
Here is Jason Frank.
He did. He had a pretty good career as well.
It's impressive. Well done, JDF. You are a man of many talents. And obviously, Tommy wins, and he acquires the Sword of Darkness, which I will admit has a fucking sick design. It looks like kind of like a Kopesh-ish design. It's got the curved blade and the weird, unique handle with the red ruby in it. It's a very cool sword. We get Zach and Kimberly at the Rad Bug at Billy's house with Billy not there, and they're talking about how weird Tommy was for negging on Kim earlier. And this is where I start to say, for fuck's sakes, the Green Ranger is Tommy. God damn it. I'll get more into why I get pissed off about this whole plot point in part 3. This is where it starts annoying me. and they're waiting for Jason, and Jason's back at the school looking for Tommy. He asks a couple of random people if they've seen Tommy. They haven't seen him, so he turns the corner, and who's that at the stairs? It's Tommy.
The most craziest eyes ever. It's like, he looks like he's about to stab him.
Are you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
He looks like he's been doing some crazy Rita drugs.
Yeah.
And Jason's basically like, hey man, I know I said we were going to work out, but no, I can't do it.
Why is Austin talking like that? I mean,
I don't
Where the
know
hell
why
did
he's
that come
talking like
from?
this. I don't know.
That
I
green
just
dude.
kind it's because of that Green Ranger dude.
Yeah. Oh my god!
I forgot there was a scene earlier where Jason is basically punching the fuck out of a fucking power bag that that Zach is holding, and Zach's like, why are you tweaking, bro? And fucking Jason's just like, I really hate this Green Ranger dude because he wears a costume like us, but he's evil.
Oh
It's like,
god!
and it's like, for fuck's sake, Jason. Like, you're gonna fucking fix him. Calm down.
Yeah.
But back to the scene at hand. Tommy basically is like, oh yeah, no, I totally understand. Which is just the line delivery is so that guy from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I'm so sorry, Jason. It just sounds like that.
Garbage Day guy.
Yeah, Garbage Day guy.
I understand.
Garbage Day!
He just sounds like that. This is the part where I say that Tommy is Spider-Man, because Jason turns around and he shoots a beam out of his wrist that transports him to Bobity's spaceship from Dragon Ball Z. Because it looks pretty much exactly like the inside of Bobity's spaceship, but it's obviously Rita's palace. The bars are electrified. And Jason's communicator, like all of the communicators right now, are not working. So, yeah, and from behind him, he hears a voice, and he hears, "Oh, that communicator won't work here." And he turns around, and I can't do a Goldar voice. I'm sorry. My throat's a bit.
communicator won't work here.
Yeah. So he turns around, and Goldar has taken Jason's morpher from his belt.
I think we finally reached permanent peak Goldar.
Which is perfect. Then we get like an interspersed scene transition between both Jason and Goldar's standoff, and Kimberly and Zach are arriving at command center. Billy and Trini are there, still trying to help with the mess that is the computers that look like they're at my work, like they're from the 70s. It's just a mess of wires and circuit boards, and they're trying to obviously get Zordon back in the tube. But of course, Rita has other plans, and the Green Ranger is out causing havoc. So the 4 other Rangers have to head out and suppress him a little bit and try and fight him off with the putties. So we get the morphing sequence with the 4 of them, and they go off to fight Tommy and the Knockers. I don't know. I just thought Tommy Knockers. I'm sorry. Then we get my ultimate 6-word critique about these 2 fight scenes. Jason versus Goldar, mid.
Say what?
Really?
Rangers versus Tommy, good.
That's good.
Yeah, no, the Jason versus Goldar I did not enjoy. It was just, you know what I equated to? It's how I feel about Brett versus Owen Hart, SummerSlam 94, the cage match. It's just a lot of slow walking, a lot of a lot of trying to find a way to escape the cage, and a lot of trying to find a way to get his morpher back.
Yeah.
With a lot of nothing happening.
Oh yeah.
But the real reason I hate this fight comes up in part 3. Because this goes on through the cliffhanger. Rangers versus Tommy is a good fight. It's a lot of fun martial arts, as per usual. and it eventually ends with Tommy basically and this is the redundant Kimberly part that I have written in my notes, because Kimberly in the first part, when he when she jumped into her Zord, said, all right, let's keep it together. And when she jumps into her Megazord in this episode, it's all right, let's keep it together.
Again.
Again. It's just like any nothing. This is the first time in my expertise that the Megazord fights something human sized. Then we get the sort of wrap up. Jason versus Goldar is still happening. He's flaunting Jason's morpher at him, drops it, and then we get some more talk at the command center and a bit more of the fight. Goldar knocks Jason down because Jason just decides to, oh, he dropped my morpher, I go for it, and he just kicks him down.
I love your Jason voice.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why, it just makes me think of Big Boss Man. Oh, the man!
He tries to go for his morpher. Goldar just kicks him down to the ground, and then Goldar has his sword to him, and this is where the cliffhanger happens. So, da, 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 da. And then we move swiftly on into Green with Evil Part 3, The Rescue, which begins right where we left off with more of this cat and mouse bullshit with Goldar and Jason. Goldar takes a swing with his sword, and Jason gets out of the way. And we get a POV shot from Goldar's eyes looking around the arena. And I will give them some credit. The fog at this moment, and I'll admit it, the fog looks really thick here. So I see what they're trying to do with this part of the fight, but we'll continue to get there when we get there. Because we cut away from the fight and we get a bit of Rita talking about bringing in one of her most trusted allies, Scorpina.
I gotta say, she's my second crush after Kim, because as a kid I go like, I think my balls dropped again. Damn. It's but I'm saying, Scorpina, god damn.
They do her so dirty in this show, though, I will say, compared to this Zhu Ranger.
Yeah, because in Zhu Ranger, she's Goldar's wife. Yeah. She's got all of this power. She's a hot Asian lady. And
I don't even think that they will know specifically with the Goldar thing, because I just thought that was such like a nice touch and interesting touch, but they
don't even bring it up.
Yeah, and I don't like it.
It's another thing where they really should have just put that in the show.
Yeah, because they're obviously buried in the show. I mean, like the clips they show here, they're trying to show it.
They try to avoid showing it, but they show it.
Yeah,
we'll get there. So yes, Scorpina arrives in her pulsing boulder with scorpions crawling around it, and she's in a mushroom forest at this point. And then we get reverse the footage boulder rolling up a hill and also up some stairs.
I don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah, just because it's cool.
This makes no sense, and yet it's working.
Yeah. And then she breaks out of the boulder, and we get her design. It's a shot of her from Zhu Ranger, but it's iconic. The gold armor, the scorpion motif, and yes, she's hot. Damn! We cut back to the command center, and the constant battle of still trying to get Zordon in the tube is still happening. There isn't enough power to connect to him, so
will the fish run out of oxygen before it gets back in his bowl?
And then we cut back to the Goldar and Jason fight, and this is the part of the Goldar and Jason fight that I hate, because Goldar is just blindly stabbing around in the fog trying to find Jason. The only problem is the fog is much thinner now, so he stands directly above Jason. And he's going to bring the sword down right on his head. Jason dodges out of the way. And Goldar just lifts the sword as if he missed him and then starts walking away. How can you not see him?
Maybe Jason is so white that he looks like smoke.
I'm just gonna say,
but he's wearing red.
I'm just gonna say we're looking at the camera's point of view of Goldar looking down. So I don't know. We're looking at smoke cam, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we're in the smoke cam. This is like a Jason POV shot, and it looks crystal clear when he looks up. Yet there's still fog. It's just
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something.
I don't care if he's white enough to look at the same color of the fog. He's wearing bright red. Like, for fuck's sake, Goldar, are you blind? Jesus?
Maybe blind.
You see, most philosophers truly know this, but red is the perfect camouflage for smoke.
Goldar has red eyes, so he can't see the red on Jason. All he sees is red. So, like a dinosaur, you can't see him until he moves, I guess. I don't know.
So his eyes are like cane lights.
Yeah, it's like Scotsman with plaid.
He sees everything red, so of course he didn't see Jason.
Jesus.
That's my theory.
See, if you wear completely plaid, Scottish people can't see you.
So it's like T-Rex rules. Jason, when Goldar drops his guard and doesn't see him, gives him a very big kick, like gets up out of the way, kicks him. Then there's a bit more gabbing, and Goldar talks about how I've never been killed, but a human will never defeat Goldar. And then Austin St. John says, "Oh yeah, we'll see about that."
God, I love that voice. You gotta keep on doing it.
He just sounds like Kevin Owens when he says that. "Oh yeah, we'll see about that."
Man.
And then immediately goes to take a kick to Goldar. Immediately falls down on the ground again. So once again, to Goldar's mercy. Then we cut back to the youth center and the juice bar. Kimberly's trying to find out if Ernie knows anything about where Jason is. Ernie obviously has seen nothing. Then Bulk and Skull show up. Bulk and Skull show up and say, tell Kimberly, "Oh yeah, we'll help you look for Jason Schmason."
I love these
and I'm
guys.
like, what a great nickname, Jason Schmason. And Kimberly's like, "Thanks, but no thanks." And Skull says, "Oh, but we'll do it for cheap." And Ernie says, "What is cheap for you?" And then Skull says, "Well, we'll accept payment in kisses." And Kimberly looks coyly over to Skull and says, "All right, Skull, you're on. Close your eyes and pucker your lips." Ernie's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Ernie says, "What the fuck are you doing, Kimberly?" Kimberly winks, and then Skull, seeing that Kimberly has winked at Ernie, just looks at him and sneers. Then, obviously, Skull closes his eyes, puckers up, moves forward. Kimberly gets out of the way, and Skull kisses his true lover, Bulk.
I always get like a Jay and Silent Bob vibe with those two, so it's accurate.
Once again, proving that Bulk and Skull is the true OTP of this television show.
Yeah.
Then Kimberly goes to leave and bumps into Tommy. Tommy, who is not looking like Tom Hardy, now is just wearing a green wife beater and black like martial arts pants and a necklace. So he's wearing even less. He's also got like a green bag. This is another Tommy negging Kimberly scene. It's a lot less scathing than the first one, but it's still pretty scathing. And he looks even more like a dick. He's got a this is gonna sound offensive, and I'm sorry, but with the hair slicked back and with the big protruding ears, he reminds me of Nick Cage.
80s Cage.
Literally just Nick Cage from Face Off, but 20 years younger.
Wait, no, he looks like Cameron Poe from Con Air. That's the exact same haircut.
Is Cameron Poe a pro?
That's it. We're right down to the shirt.
They now are convinced that something's up with Tommy, but they don't immediately say the obvious, which is that he's the fucking Green Ranger.
Well, to be fair though, they just met the guy, so they don't know how he.
No, I'm gonna get to the point in a bit here, but so they go and follow Tommy outside, and we get a shot of Rita looking for her Green Ranger, and then also looking for anything that's going wrong with her plan. She's looking at her telescope, zoom in, enhance the image, enhance the image, enhance the image. They're at the park, enhance the image further. There's Kimberly and Zach. They're going to ruin my plans. I better send some putties down. And then we get the putty fight. Obviously, Tommy is still walking away, looking all suspicious at this point. And to make him even more suspicious, down comes some putties. And the putties all get up on the table and they pose like they're a dance squad auditioning for America's Got Talent.
Yeah, that's a album cover for the best hip hop album.
But they look so sexy while they do it.
Putt Streets back.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we get the putty fight where Kimberly and Zach are sped up for no reason at certain parts of this scene. We get Zach's hip hop keto. At first, it's in normal speed, and then we get also Kimberly's gymnastics and a bit of leg choking and scissors. And then I believe this is the point where, oh yeah, they just randomly cut to Tommy. And then Zach jumps up on the table, and this is where Zach's hip hop keto gets sped up to 200% for no reason. It just looks weird, and then they cut to Kimberly, and they speed her up for a little bit too, just to, I guess, make it look cool. Yeah, 90s special effects is not something that is perfect. Tommy shows his green eyes again, and then he gets teleported to Bobbity's spaceship, as I lovingly called it. Goldar, still in this arena, is about to finish Jason, but then Tommy shows up and cucks him.
Okay.
Yeah, Tommy shows up and cucks Goldar by saying, "Oh, Rito wants me to kill the Red Ranger."
Oh yeah.
And then as after Tommy says this, Goldar just goes and then teleports away with a big fire transition. Then we get the first technically the second red versus green fight. And technically. And I so eloquently called this the Red Green Show.
Oh man.
You know,
anything could be,
you're able to. Any monster can be defeated with just a little bit of duct tape.
I was gonna say anything could be fixed with duct tape, except for Jason David Frank and Austin St. John's relationship.
No, he's got a point.
Yeah, but that comes later.
Heyo.
But yes, there's a fight. It's pretty, normal stuff. We get an occasional cut back to the command center where Kimberly and Zach are talking about what happened with Tommy and how he's incredibly sus looking, but they also don't say anything about him being the Green Ranger because, that's not obvious, I guess. We get more fighting between Tommy and Jason, which is very fun, and they both are really good martial artists, so their choreography is pretty sick. Jason lands on his morpher during this fight and goes to grab it, but then Tommy just steps on his wrist and is like, "No, you don't."
Oh no, you don't.
Oh no, you don't. And and then we cut to a scene with Rita and her children talking, and this is the scene where Goldar is very obviously staring and macking at Scorpina, but they just cut Scorpina out of the frame.
Oh yeah.
He's just spiking Scorpina, and you just can't see it. Then they just cut to him talking from a front view, which is, the same front view they always use. But it's fine. Oh, yeah. And then this is the point where I bring up Babu's weird voice change.
Please do me a favor and keep your stinger away from me.
I think this is the only time that he sounds like this as well, so it's just okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird voice inconsistencies in this 5-parter. There's this, and then there's something else that I'll bring up later in part 5. I don't like it. It's just not as good as the other Babu voice. I don't know if it's the same guy. It just is so weird. And also, for some reason, Babu's wearing a monocle in this scene.
Oh yeah, no, he has been wearing a monocle every now and then.
I guess fair enough, but I just never noticed it until now. So we're back at command center. Billy is finally, I think, getting to the point where he's finally trying to laser in on Jason's location because the communicators are almost prepped and ready to go. So then we cut back to Bobbity's spaceship. I'm sorry, I'm calling it this.
Bobbity's spaceship.
Tommy lifts the sword of darkness and is about to kill Jason. And I'm like, please do it. Jason's just got Jason, take over and become the Red Ranger that you were destined to be, Tommy.
Oh my.
And Jason, in order to, try and stop Tommy from stabbing him, lifts his hands up and is just like, don't do it. You better not do it.
My God, why does he sound like Mark Wahlberg? It's like, hey Tommy, how's your mother? Say hi to your mother for me.
Hey
How you
dog,
doing, Green Ranger?
how's it going, man? Yeah, hey dog, how you doing?
Hey Alpha.
God, it's like Mark Wahlberg and Enzo Amore had a diseased baby.
It's like, hey guys, it's wolfing time, guys. Let's do it. Hey, how do
Let's figure this out before you guys kill me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So he lifts the sword and goes to stab down, and literally the second he stabs down is the point where fucking Jason morphs away, and Tommy's all confused and pissed off. And this is the point where I write in my notes, Tommy almost went the way of Skull there.
Yes.
He almost committed the irreversible act of his first kill, which would have honestly made for a really cool twist in the series.
Well, if you want to go that way, there is Lord Dracon.
Follow me and ponder the question, what if?
So much potential. Squandered for so long. To set things right.
We will invade their worlds. They could have been gods.
Maybe.
Draken, and I was going to actually bring that up as well, because we'll get to it after we finish the 5-parter.
Yeah.
So, obviously Tommy has fucked up, and Goldar's like, "Oh, you fucked up, you fucking idiot."
You had him with your hands. How could you?
Rita's very upset with you, and Tommy's just like, "Please give me another chance, Daddy." And then Goldar's just like, "I'm so sorry, Jason David Frank." And then Tommy, and then
I'm just watching this podcast slowly implode in silence.
This is funny, dude.
It is.
I'm doing it for the lols.
Yeah.
Goldar is like, okay, maybe you'll get a second chance, but for now you're going to stay there in this cage until you're needed. So, I guess just train. And then we cut back to Tommy doing the exposition dump on everything that has happened thus far with Tommy and this Green Ranger dude. And I'm sorry, it's what I'm gonna keep saying it when it's in affirmation with Jason.
Yeah.
And this is where I put my notes. God, Jesus, fuck, it's Tommy.
Yeah. Kind of obvious, but
like it's incredibly obvious, but the kids are too fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's like, who has some good
there's
moves that you
literally
just met a
been
day
like
ago?
an infant. You met him at the karate tournament, and he was a very nice guy, very honorable. And then literally a day later, he's suddenly a dick.
Yeah.
You've literally had this happen to you before, Kimberly and Billy.
Yes, they have.
Like, this isn't the first time.
Being turned into punks is completely different than being turned evil.
Well, it's a different personality. It's still a different personality.
So yeah, this trauma dump, this exposition dump is basically, it fuels my rage for a bit, but then we get the viewing globe, and we see Scorpina, and Alpha brings up that he hasn't seen Scorpina for 10,000 years. And all I have to say is, damn girl, you look really good for being 10,000 years old.
Yes, it does. Something in that tea.
Something in the tea. And we get the morphing sequence. Everyone morphs. A bit more emotion from Jason here. They all teleport to the skyscraper district.
Yeah.
And they do the pose. Scorpina's there. And this fight scene is honestly pretty cool, except for there is one point, and I really, really want you to find this and put this in the video, because there's a point where Scorpina speaks English.
So, Putty Patrol, attack the Power Rangers!
It's incredibly odd because it's obviously the Sentai footage. It's a Japanese lady, and it looks uncannily similar to the same person who plays Scorpina. So my thoughts on how they did this are either they found someone that looks so eerily similar to the person that played Scorpina that it just worked.
Well, it is the Sentai footage.
Well,
what are you saying?
not for this bit. There's a bit where after Scorpina blows them up the first time, she draws her sword, points it forward, and says, "You go get those Power Rangers now." But it's fucking her lips are speaking English.
Really?
It's not the
Okay.
same person. Seriously, it's at just before 14 minutes into the episode, after she blows them up with the sword. Literally go back and put it in the video, because I swear to God, I flipped out when I saw this after rewatching it.
So, Putty Patrol, attack! Here it comes!
Oh, it looks like, yeah, because I'm looking at it right now. It's like, I think it's just like a backdrop in some woman.
It's literally just a cheap backdrop, and it's either a different Asian. I'm sorry,
lady?
Saban, but it's either a different Asian lady or it's a different white lady that they painted to look eerily similar to Scorpina.
I couldn't tell it apart, but yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's like, Jesus, okay.
Yeah, no, it's so fucking weird, and it just like it broke my brain. So we get more of a putty fight, and Scorpina and the putties fight the Power Rangers. We get a couple shots of Rita's castle, and this is another one of my favorite lines in the 5-parter, because they're just talking about how Scorpina's doing. Goldar wants to be sent down there, and Babu thinks, "I think that's a good idea." Goldar thinks that's all. I also think that's a good idea. And then Babu says,
I think I don't know what I think, your evilness.
Squat with the best lines in the history. We randomly cut back after the fight intermission, and it's Rita getting her makeup done while Squat holds up a mirror, and Babu is fanning her. And this is the scene where Squat says, "I think I don't know what I'm thinking," because Rita was just like, "Am I more beautiful than Scorpina?" And Babu says, "I think so." And then Squat says,
I think I don't know what I think, your evilness.
which is hilarious. Then obviously Scorpina is defeated, so she comes back and is like, "Oh, I don't know what we should do. If anyone else was out there, I would have absolutely destroyed the Rangers." And then they did try to figure out who they're gonna send. Are they gonna send Goldar? Are they gonna send Scorpina? Are they gonna send the Green Ranger? So they eventually end up deciding on Goldar. And while they send Goldar, we cut to a shot in Bobbity's spaceship, where Tommy is training with the dark sword, and this is where I put in my notes that Jason David Frank is Lex Luger.
Yeah, damn it.
Because it's just a lot of grunts and a lot of, because it's the first time where it's like just a solo martial arts scene with no noise pollution. So this is the first time I really noticed all of his grunts.
Yeah, because he always says the hiya, 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 hiya.
Yeah. Tommy is just like, "Hey, I feel like I've done enough to get back out, my Empress. So please give me another chance." And then Rita says, "You'll get your other chance in the next part." Then we cut back. Then we cut back to the command center, and they're still struggling about this whole Green Ranger dilemma. Obviously, because it can't be Tommy. It's impossible that it's Tommy. This is, you know what? I just realized what this reminds me of. This reminds me of the one feud with Rey Mysterio, Kane, and the Undertaker in 2010, where they found the Undertaker in a vegetative state, and Kane went around looking for who could have possibly hurt his brother.
Kane.
And then it was Kane. Yeah, and it's like I can suspend my disbelief. I can suspend my disbelief a little bit when it comes to storytelling like that, but it's so fucking obvious, which is why this pissed me off, I think. We get a bit more of a lock in on Zordon. Zordon's trying to speak to them about who did this, who Tommy is, and all of this. But unfortunately, the power fizzes out, and Rita makes, for the second time in this 5-parter, makes her Goldar grow, and we once again get a shot of his big swinging cod piece.
Number 2.
God. It's just there, staring at you menacingly.
Just menacingly.
And now that Goldar is big, this is the scene where Goldar starts tearing up the skyscraper district and literally killing hundreds of people.
Innocent people.
Literally killing hundreds of innocent people. And this is where the cliffhanger happens. Because it's like Goldar is killing people. What are we going to do? Dun, 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 dun. And that was the end of part 3. There was a lot to talk about in that 2-parter, and yeah, and then those 2 parts of the 5-parter, and hopefully the last 2 parts clear up some of my issues.
Right, I hope so. So the next part is Green Was Evil Part 4, Eclipsing Megazord. So we start out with the gang looking at the viewing globe where Goldar is just fucking things up downtown, killing people left and right. And they said they're going to morph, but then the electricity bill runs out. They forgot to pay your electricity bill to Zordon.
They forgot to pay the morphing grid bill.
Yes. Oh God.
No, wait, no, they no, the morphing grid bill would have been paid, but because because Zordon went to lost his dimensional connection, they also lost his credit card information.
So is the energy down? Alpha says they can't get it back up. Congratulations, guys, you're screwed. The city is screwed. There's no protectors. So we cut back to Goldar again going on a rampage killing spree. And then we cut back to the moon base. He's just saying like, oh, we got to do an eclipse. Because that's apparently the Megazord is operational only, non-operational in eclipses. Something I learned.
Well, because it's because the Megazord is solar powered.
Yeah. Which I just learned. I go like, damn, I completely forgot about that. And Finster goes like,
yeah, Zordon really believed in green energy.
Oh, he definitely did. So Finster asks like, so instead of one of my monsters, you're gonna go with the Green Ranger, right, man? And Rita just yells at me, "Yes, you fool! What do you think we've been doing all this time?"
And she also sends Scorpina, which is where I put in my notes.
We cut back to Babu Mount, whatever you called it, Alice.
Bobbity Spaceship.
Bobbity Station, where Tommy's just practicing, and then Rita says, "It's time for you to do something, your useless ass." He sends him down there. Yeah. We cut back to the command station, command center. They still have no lights, and they're trying to figure it out. Billy goes like, "What if I do some Doctor Who wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff here?"
This is where Billy goes big brain and literally just solves their power crisis.
Yeah.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
So when he's doing this, Alpha going, ay, and Zach's going like, calm down, dude. Just calm down. Let him cook.
You know, Zach, literally Alpha goes, ay, and then Zach just goes, hold up. Let him cook.
Hold up. Wait a minute. So Billy, being a magnificent genius, gets the power back up. And they go in morph, and I think this is the first time they do a V formation. They constantly do that later on, but it's epic. The
V formation is pretty cool looking, yeah.
So they morph, they go to downtown, they fight the putties. Scorpina shows up, fights Scorpina. Babu and Squat show up for some reason, and Squat tells him to kiss his ass because he's fucking his asshole there for some reason.
Yeah, that is something that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is the part where we cut back to the youth center and we get Malcolm's favorite Bulk and Skull moment.
Yeah. Cut to the ball.
Oh yeah, with the juice bar crumbling all around him, and then we get the seriously the one of the most genius things these two have ever done together. Bulk, we gotta get going. The place is coming down. I'm not finished with my ice cream yet. Now I'm finished.
Down.
And literally, as the I-beam for above them falls on the counter.
Yeah, so everybody's jogging nicely outside. Shout out to Linkar for that. Bulk stops Skull and says, like, we gotta get on this bus. It's the quickest way out. Really? A bus is the quickest way out? Okay.
Well, if you've seen the movie Speed, Skull.
Back in the command center, the Green Ranger just creeps on in again. And
removes Alpha's butt plug.
And Alpha just bends on over. And Zordon was like, why? Just why? Then we go back to the city. See Rita. It's just ridiculous seeing her on this tricycle. It's just so ridiculous.
It's like a penny farthing tricycle. All I'm hearing is da 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 da.
So yeah, we cut back to Skull driving the bus.
Because we get a bit more fun in the bus, because Skull is basically like, yeah, I don't have my driver's license. How do you think I'm doing? And Bulk says, I think you're driving like a psychopath. And then Skull says, oh, that's a nice compliment. Thank you. Obviously, the Rangers show up and Goldar picks up the bus.
He's playing around with it. Obviously, they would be dead by the way, but they're just rummaging around in there.
They're just flinging around in the bus, and Goldar is just like, oh yes, it's not just civilians, they're two little friends of yours. These aren't cops, they're buddies of mine. And my favorite part of this sequence is like, my god, they've got Bulk and Skull, and then Trini just goes,
oh no.
It's like,
oh, what a fruitcake.
Yeah.
Nice VO. And then we cut into the bus. Bulk and Skull are still fucking maneuvering around, and Bulk says, I want my mommy, and Skull says, yeah, I want your mommy. They're amazing.
Apparently that was an improv spot as well by Jason Narvi.
It's very good.
I can't believe they got away with so much of that shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome how much they got away with.
Got back to the command center. Zordon is always coming back. You can barely hear him going like, Tommy.
Yeah, no, Tommy is still trying to do, like, he's trying to move Zordon to a completely different dimension so that he can never come back to the tube. And this is the part where we get the second, Tommy, no.
I forgot there was a second one.
I have to point this out because it came up in my notes as they're talking about how the Power Rangers can't stop the Green Ranger or Rita now. Alpha gets up like Linda McMahon at WrestleMania X7, and Alpha, like I said, gets up and he creates a force field around Tommy, and then goes back to trying to reestablish the connection with Zordon. All while Tommy's just trying to basically bully him and neg him. He's negging Alpha now. He's like trying to gaslight Alpha into thinking Alpha isn't doing enough and isn't good enough. He's such a dick.
Yeah, so they get the Zords, and the first time ever. Wait, sorry, hold on. They get the Zords, they make a Megazord, and catch the bus right before Bulk and Skull die.
They catch the bus, but even the catching of the bus would have killed Bulk and Skull. They've cheated death like 27 times, so they're probably like top priority on Death's next list in Final Destination 6.
And Bulk goes like, pinch me, I think we're dead. And Skull pinches him and he goes like, oh, but wait, we're alive.
Yeah, and then they just cry and hug each other.
Yeah, so the Megazord strikes Goldar, the eclipse happens, Orpina shows up and turns into a giant scorpion in her monster
form, which is honestly a cool looking form.
Yeah.
It is a cool form, but I prefer her human form more.
That's what it's like.
Obviously, because you can fuck it.
No, it's just cooler, you degenerates.
So the eclipse happens and the Megazord is down because of the eclipse. Solar powered, and they're screwed. Alpha tries to find some kind of code to bring back Zordon.
Rita uses her magic to teleport Tommy to the fight from the force field, and then this is the third time she makes someone grow in this episode, in this part, because she makes Goldar grow, then she makes Scorpina grow, and then she makes Tommy grow, and we get giant Namek. I mean Ranger.
The first time you see that,
I think we see it a couple seasons later, but it's very rare for us to get giant Rangers.
Yeah, but this is the first time they did it. Yeah, so Goldar and Tommy work together and have this, and George goes straight to hell. Something I never thought I'd see.
Straight to hell.
No. They go to Ohio.
Yeah, they go to Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio.
Yeah. So the gang is up on a mountain, and the Zords die, and Austin. I mean, goddammit, yeah, Jason says, the Zords. Oh no.
Oh no way! There goes our Zords, dude. Oh, we gotta go to the bodega and get a new one.
God, that voice.
So it looks like Rena is won. Rangers go back to the command center. And Alpha says, like, oh, I put something in the code that will show us, or shows up.
It just, the pixels slowly start defragging, and then you finally see the obvious. It was Tommy the whole time. Dun, 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 dun. And specifically the shot they use of the rotating Tommy, like just slowly rotating in the lighting, it just reminds me of the New Generation Brett commercial where the kid yells down the hallway,
Brett.
You know, it's scary how on the money you are.
Yeah. I know. It's kind of a beautiful thing that happens to me occasionally.
Just like Brett, and then you just see Tommy with the glasses.
This trope that happens in storytelling where the characters are supposed to act stupid and oblivious for something that is incredibly obvious to the viewer is just something that really bothers me and often sours me on a lot of things.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that.
I just don't like poorly written television or stories.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that during this entire run. It's not the first time.
This is the first time.
Yeah. So with that, we got Green Part 5, Breaking the Spell, the final episode. So we start out with the gang finally figure out that Tommy, they're going like, how could it be? Just met the guy 2 days ago. We know about him, but really we don't.
We know.
You can't do this to us. They're acting like they've known him for years because Zach goes like, how can he do this to us? You just met him 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. We cut back to Rita's palace and they're celebrating. Hey, did it! It's like the Rangers are done.
They're drinking. By the way, I just want to point out that Babu says they're all drinking cranberry and oyster juice.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That's a delicacy of many from the east coast of Canada.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just Clamato they're drinking.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess that is it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's basically just like Clamato with cranberry at this point. Yeah. And in this scene, we also get a lot of Goldar just staring down Scorpina's bodice.
You're supposed to just take a peek after a poke. You were like you just put a quarter in one of those big metal things on top of the Empire State Building.
Just staring at her tits, basically.
Really?
Scorpina's drinking, and Goldar is just looking down at her, and you can just kind of see that the head is tilted down just enough where it's logical that he's staring at her tits.
Just a peek. Just a peek. We cut to the command center, and Alpha's saying, well, I have nothing for you guys. You got to go figure this out on your own. So we cut to the juice bar. We're on the TV news. They show Goldar destroying the city, and everyone's acting nonchalantly like, oh no, look at that guy.
They're just watching Jew Ranger. It's okay.
Yeah, that too. But the one guy in the background is like, oh my god, look at that guy.
The size of that guy.
Jesus Christ, making me laugh all the time.
Look at the size of that guy.
Yeah. Kimberly goes up to her and he's like, hi, have you seen Tommy? He's like, yeah, he's right over there, just beating the shit out of the weight machine over there.
Oh, you forgot that there's also in this part where Kimberly's like, I can't believe that this is happening. Ernie's like, thank God for the Power Rangers. And then Bulk's like, Power Rangers? Thank us. If anything, we were right there, and we helped the Power Rangers beat that gold guy." And then Bulk is, and then they think about it. Bulk is like, Skull is just like, "Yeah, we should be on TV." And then they just do a close up on Bulk's face that looks pretty funny, and he's like, "Yeah, TV."
Kim
Yeah.
goes over to Tommy.
And I think that's it for Bulk and Skull for the 5-parter.
And I gotta say, in one of the best scenes ever coming up, Kim goes over to Tommy, who's just anger fucking the weight machine.
Yeah, he's just it's like if he were doing it just like 2% angrier, he would trigger that death from Final Destination 3 where the weights clap down on his head.
Kim goes like, "I know you're the Green Ranger," and Tommy just looks like he's about to snap a neck, goes like, "Well, Pink Ranger, you know that every one of you is gonna die. See ya." And his eyes glow. Damn.
They're both just talking very openly about their Ranger identities in public.
Oh yeah, it's like this is one of many things that they do.
You were breaking one of the 3 rules.
Oh, and the best Zord ever.
Dragon Zord debut. Yeah. Here it is.
ABs. Goldar goes like, "If she wants to bring it, gonna bring it. Raise the kaiju."
Cooler looking Mechagodzilla.
It is really just Mechagodzilla, but cooler.
Because it basically is Godzilla, but he's coming from the water and all, just destroying this.
No, Mechagodzilla. Specifically Mechagodzilla, because nothing is cooler than OG Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't be Godzilla.
He has his drill on his tail, which is awesome. He's just fucking up shit left and right.
He's got the cool, like, 5 red light design on his chest.
Yeah. And picks up one of those, what's it called? Those things that blow smoke?
Smokestacks.
Smokestack. Just takes a big bite out of it like a candy cane.
Yeah, it just shatters. That's such a great moment.
Yeah. Green Ranger shows up with his infamous Dragon Dagger.
Da 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 da.
Which I'm still thinking, how the hell is he playing that if he has a mouth guard?
So I own the Green Ranger Morpher, but I need the Dragon Dagger. Oh man, I need it with a passion.
Now, this is a question you just asked, Andreas. How does he play it despite the fact that his mouth on his helmet is clearly closed?
Yeah.
I think I have an answer for this. Okay. It's basically just a saxaboom.
Oh, yeah. You just push the button.
Where he presses a button and the thing goes off.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I got it. Years later, I finally get an answer, and I still need to answer the Clam's theory.
Jack Black should be casted as Tommy in the Power Rangers movie scene.
And then Jack Black plays saxaboom on the Dragon Dagger.
There was no other choice.
He finally answered my question. Now I just need to answer to the goddamn clamshells in Demolition Man.
Oh no. Oh no. Not again.
So we come back to the command center. Have that in your mind. Well, talking about a command center. Alpha puts in some coordinates because he thinks he can find Zordon in a certain area. Got back to the Rangers, and Austin is going like, "God, I wish Tommy would have told us that it was him." Now I'm doing the goddamn voice. I hate you, man.
Hey, man, what you doing? I'm walking here.
Trini runs in from somewhere, and she goes like, "Oh, there's this big giant monster attacking business district," which they finally said it's a business. So the Rangers morph, and they go to downtown, and Vader shows up, and the Dragon Zord has these amazing rocket finger blasters. Jesus.
Oh no, that's still a bit later because that's when the Zords come back.
Oh no, it's like when they come in, like he's doing that.
And oh no, he does do it.
So Rita is like saying, "Oh no, things are going down. They're back. What's going on?" So the Green Ranger summons the Dragon Zord to just destroy everything. Drill. Jason says like, "Oh damn, we can't do anything. Zords are gone." Alpha back in the command center goes like, "Oh, I found you, Zordon." Zordon finally pops up. He's like, "Yeah, summon the Zords. Need to finish this bastard."
Oh, we don't have the Zords. The Zords were destroyed. They were sent to Ohio.
Let me handle that. I can get them back from Ohio.
I have in my extended warranty.
They're hanging out in my Airbnb in Ohio.
Like, well, no, you're talking about how the Green Ranger earlier took away their extended warranty.
I have the extended warranty.
So now that Zordon's back, their belt buckles start shining up, and they get teleported to Ohio. And the Zords are back. Reverse that glorious footage.
Yeah, reverse the footage of them sinking into the lava.
Yeah. Rita's not happy. She looks like she's about to cry. T-Rex and the Dragon Zord start fighting, like Zord-on-Zord action, which is amazing.
Which is a very fun scene, and I think like behind the karate fight at the very beginning of this is my favorite fight scene in the entire 5-parter.
Yeah, isn't this also like the T-Rex does some kind of move?
The T-Rex does a stupid both legs extended out jump. It does a stupid jump and then drop kicks the Dragon Zord.
The Dragon Zord's down for a couple of minutes. He's taking a break because
Too bad we couldn't get the Dragon Zord doing a drop kick.
the Megazord gets initiated, and the Megazord just decides to pick up the Dragon Zord and eat him.
Yeah, he does the Super Mario 64 where he picks up the Dragon Zord by the tail, swings him around, and then goes, "So long, gay Dragon Zord."
Throws him into a mountain rock formation that he obviously cut beforehand.
Yeah, and then this is the no way part,
Yeah,
because Jason basically yells out, "Hey, dude, you know what? We're gonna destroy the Sword of Darkness now. I hope you like that." And then, and then a voice that is supposed to be Tommy just goes, "No way!"
Oh, it's not Jason David Frank. It's some random dude.
It's some random Green Ranger dude.
Jason gets out of the Megazord and fights Tommy one-on-one. And he just blasts him. They have a sword fight. And it looks like Tommy's just kicking the crap out of him until they cut to American footage where Jason just destroys the Sword of Darkness by just a pistol.
Yep, just shoots the Sword of Darkness. It evaporates basically, and then
freeing Tommy from the evil control.
Tommy demorphs is not evil anymore, and then another baffling scene where the 5 Rangers V formation up, and then they're all like, "Okay," and Jason's like, "Okay, guys, let's morph," and then they unmorph.
Yeah, let's morph. Yeah, and then he goes talks to Tommy. He's like, "Hey, we need a good guy on our team. Down. You're a good man. You're a good man, Tommy. How's your mother?"
You're a good Hey, listen, you're a good fighter. You got the good muscle. I need you to join the Power Rangers.
You all are going to the Skull Corner.
Now he sounds like Tommy was so. Oh, hi, Tommy.
Oh, hi, Tommy.
Okay, you're definitely going to the Skull Corner. And we get the glorious, the beautiful first morph of...
Oh, wait, hold on.
We get the handshake first.
Before we get that. They shake hands and, Jason's going "Hey, I hope you don't replace me someday down the line." Tommy goes "No promises."
We get the handshake, and then Zordon and Alpha are watching this from the viewing globe, and then Zordon's like, "Look, Alpha, we're seeing history in the making."
Yeah, it is truly history in the making.
Which is a very profound line considering the history of the series.
And then we got Jason going "Okay, guys, it's a morph. Why am I sounding like Christopher Walken now? Morphing time."
And then we get the iconic first morph with all 6 Rangers.
Is there a putty fight, or do we just get the morph and then we cut to them back at the command center?
No, they just pose.
Second song on the Dragon Dagger, it just sounds like Kanye West's "All of the Lights."
And Jason goes "Well, check it out. It's awesome. This new dragon, I swear."
Hey, dude, this new dragon is buff as hell.
Yeah. And Rita, we come back to Rita. She's mad as hell. It's damn it. Does she say a headache?
I want to say we do get one. I'll have to double check, but I do think we get one.
If we do get one, then we're at 9.
Then we come back to the command center, and Gordon's like, "Congratulations, you got the guy that almost killed me back on this team." It's I'm sure I'm not going to be looking over my head after this. Okay. And she goes like, I'm sorry, I had to say that. But yeah.
Yeah.
She goes like, Tommy, you are now a new member. So you gotta go with the 3 rules. You wanna become a ranger. Nobody.
And then we get a reprisal of the 3 rules.
Yep.
Don't use the power for your own personal gain. Don't reveal your identity to anyone, and only escalate a fight if it calls for it.
If Rita forces you to, basically.
Yeah.
So they do a high five in slow motion.
You forgot it ends on a 90s freeze frame of them all jumping up in the air.
Yeah, that too.
So before we each have our individual wrap-ups, I am going to discuss this, or not discuss this, but I want to bring this up specifically for Adam. Now that we finished Green with Evil, let's talk about Lord Draken.
Okay, this is new to me.
In the comics, basically there was a storyline called Shattered Grid. There was a storyline before that introduced Lord Draken, but Shattered Grid was basically his big story. Lord Draken is an alternate universe version of Tommy, where basically after the Sword of Darkness was destroyed, Tommy basically left. He's like, I need to think this over. And he ends up joining Rita for good, like actually, like, and ends up becoming evil without being mind controlled. And it ends up to a big fight, whatnot, which ends up with most of the Rangers dead, and I believe Tommy takes on the power of the White Ranger, and that ends up fusing the 2 powers together after Tommy defeats him and kills him, and he ends up becoming basically the most powerful Lord of Rangers, basically Lord Draken, and I think Rita falls, and he basically becomes the Lord of all evil. It was basically a trailer for the comics that he did a live action filming for.
Yeah, but
is this an official thing? It's like this isn't a fan project, is it?
No, this is an official story in the Power Rangers comic.
It's a different timeline, obviously.
Yes, and it would have been really cool if, while he was still alive, they'd gotten to do that for the show itself. But unfortunately, it's just going to stay in the realm of comics for now.
You're gonna have to send me this trailer after so I can watch it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you when I get the chance, Adam.
Yeah, for sure. So now that is over, final thoughts on Green with Evil.
I'm honestly on the same boat here. It's like, what is there to say? Like, every single episode here, this 5-parter introduces an aspect of the Green Ranger lore and saga in some way, shape, or form. Even like with the stuff with Jason and Tommy, which lasts for a while as well throughout the show. So honestly, yeah, again, just absolutely killed it. This is probably, I'll say it again, the first kids TV show 5-parter, and probably still the best one.
I went into this 5-parter knowing it was a pivotal moment for not just this season, but for the entire series of Power Rangers, because it was the introduction of Jason David Frank. It's the introduction of one of the most prolific people to be related to the series that is not named Haim Saban. I went into this wanting to like it, and I'm not saying I hated it. I didn't dislike it. There are parts I really did like the fights, the choreography has gotten significantly better. Some of the dumb meme shit in between bits and pieces of the serious storytelling was very fun. And obviously every scene with Bulk and Skull on it is 5-star comedy. I'm feeling like I might offend someone with saying that this isn't good. It's not bad by any means. It's definitely not awful. There are a lot of bad storytelling elements and a lot of just poor decisions with the creation of this 5-parter that make me think that Haim Saban as a company was a bit too ambitious when they made this. There's a lot of inconsistencies. There's a lot of voice acting inconsistencies. There's a lot of small nitpicks that just sort of add up into being not a bad experience, but something I cannot say is a good experience. I have to call it mediocre. I'm sorry. It's not bad. It's just not good either.
Like, I will openly say it is a very hyped up 5-parter, and again, I am a Power Rangers fan of the middle of the road stuff when it comes to all the Power Ranger stuff as a whole. I will openly say again, it's a 90s show. Like, it's like going back and watching Full House of the dialogue, the inconsistent, like, especially for, I want to say this is a non-union kids show as well. So you're definitely not going to get 110% care and effort when it comes to fact checking.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that, and I do completely get those sort of things, but that's like, it's just in how do I say this? In the previous episodes that I've watched for this series with you guys, which is everything before this, there, even when there was like weird cheapness or weird 90s editing or weird other things that just seemed not the best choice, it still felt like it was overall a fun environment and like something that I could derive the positive from. I think that this is just, they were trying to be serious too fast.
Yeah, they wanted something
And
different.
17 episodes into the 17 episodes into the first season of your new series is not where a 5-parter should be. If this 5-parter was 30 episodes later, I feel like I would like it a lot more, because I feel like they would have learned a lot more about how they were doing things and would have been able to iron out some of those issues that just kind of detract from the quality of this 5-parter. And again, I will state that this is not bad. It's just not good either. It is purely mediocre. I have a neutral feeling on this. It's just not my favorite.
Because you are like the neutral guy, and it's for the first time in today's world, modern era. I completely understand where you're coming from.
I'm going to give you this one, but I swear to God, Adam, if you stay on the contrarian path, I'm going to keep you permanently in the skull corner.
I'm just stating my opinion. Like, that's what this whole situation. That's what
I know.
to be.
If you state your opinion on the contrarian path more than 6 times in a row, I will beat you.
Beat you with a stick.
I hate contrarianism so fucking much.
Yeah, but I'm not being a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian. That's just my honest to God opinion.
No, I know. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not talking about this situation right now.
Okay.
I'm talking about all contrarianism.
Then
as a
yes,
whole.
I 100%
Repeated
agree with you.
contrarianism. I'm talking to you, Justin, from Cinemassacre. You know what you did. That's everything.
Oh, God. Because we needed another breakdown, I guess.
So was that before Malcolm pops a blood vessel?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy. We'll recap ahead.
Next time we're going to actually get back into some normal, hopefully normal filler, and hopefully a bit more of a, me understanding how Tommy works in a more filler-esque context.
Yes.
And
so
I'm excited. So with that,
I hope all of you.
Adam.
And that has been Andreas.
And he's the Doif.
And may the power protect you all.